What's up, guys? The 2025-26 Premier League season is here, and every club has something they could be doing better. So in this video, I'm going through all 20 Premier League teams, from title contenders to relegation fighters, and giving couple changes I'd make to improve each of them. Some need smarter transfers, some need a new manager, and some just need to wake up. So sit back, hit that like and subscribe button, and let's fix the Premier League one club at a time. Arsenal are 1 or 2 moves away from greatness, but they have to be bold. First, let's clean house. Thomas Partey, always injured. Fabio Vieira, still waiting for him to show up. It's time to move on and bring in winners. Now here's who they should sign. On the wing, Rodrigo or Pedro Neto, to give Saka a break before his legs fall off. And in defense, a backup for Gabriel. Someone like Piero Hincapié, left-footed, aggressive, and perfect for Arteta's system. And up front, if they can land Benjamin Šeško, it's game on. Clear the dead weight, bring in real depth, and Arsenal might finally stop being nearly men and actually lift the title. Bournemouth have potential, but they need serious upgrades if they want to stay clear of the relegation zone and punch above their weight. Now here's who they should bring in. In midfield, they need a proper defensive presence. Someone like Youssouf Fofana from Milan, solid, physical, and calm under pressure. Up front, Bournemouth need goals. Joel Pyro from Leeds could be that guy, clinical in the Championship, hungry in the Premier League. Add the right energy, clean out the inconsistency, and Bournemouth could go from mid-table to Europe contenders. Aston Villa have talent and ambition, but if they want to break into the top 6, some serious changes are needed. First, who's holding them back? Jacob Ramsey? Great potential, but needs to step up and stop disappearing in big games. Time to make room for players who can truly raise the level. So who should Villa sign? In midfield, they need a strong, dynamic presence. Someone like Joe Aribo to add energy and creativity. On the wings, a player with pace and trickery. Goncalo Guedes would be perfect to stretch defenses and provide goals. Clear out the dead weight, add quality and depth, and Aston Villa could finally make that push for Europe. Brentford have been punching above their weight for years, but to stay competitive, they need to sharpen up their squad. First, who's not pulling their weight? Matthias Jensen? Inconsistent and disappears in big games. Yohan Wissa? Talented but injury-prone and unreliable. Here's who they should bring in. On the wings, pace and flair are key. Ismaila Sarr would add real firepower and unpredictability. Up front, with Mbeumo likely leaving, they need a proven goal scorer like Taiwo Awoniyi or Dominic Solanke to keep the attack dangerous. At the back, a solid, experienced center-back like Nathan Ake could help shore up their defense. Clear out the dead weight, bring in real quality, and Brentford could surprise even the big boys next season. Brighton are everyone's favorite underdogs. Smart scouting, fun football, but they always lose their best players. And let's be honest, this summer won't be any different. First off, they have to let go of players who just aren't cutting it anymore. Danny Welbeck? He pops up with the odd goal, but they need more firepower than nostalgia. Brighton's biggest challenge? Replacing talent before it leaves. If Mitoma or Ferguson goes next, they'll need serious reinforcements. So who should they bring in? They need a reliable striker, someone who actually finishes all those pretty build-ups. Maybe Morgan Gibbs-White if Nottingham Forest decide to cash in. Burnley need a reality check if they want to survive in the Premier League this season. Burnley have to freshen things up with players who can handle the speed and physicality of top-flight football. They badly need a proper striker who actually finishes chances. Someone like Adam Ida would be a smart signing, young, strong, and desperate to prove himself. At the back, they need a center-back who loves clearances more than cute passes. Jake Cooper from Millwall is the kind of big, no-nonsense defender Burnley fans would get behind. If they toughen up and bring in the right characters, staying up is possible. Chelsea are one of the richest clubs in England, yet somehow they keep finding new ways to disappoint their own fans every season. If they want to get back into the top 4, they need to stop acting like a luxury outlet store for expensive flops. Robert Sanchez, a blind man, would defend better than him. Bring back Georgia Petrovic. They still need a real striker who scores goals when it matters. Someone like Victor Osimhen could finally give them the killer edge they've missed since Drogba's prime. Chelsea fans don't want promises anymore, they want results. Less hype, more winning. If they clear out the deadwood and sign smart, they might finally start acting like Chelsea again. Crystal Palace have carved out a reputation as surviving Premier League mainstays. But if they're going to climb higher, they need to stop leaning on old standbys and start making bold upgrades. Up front, they desperately require another reliable goal scorer to stand beside Jean-Philippe Mateta. If Crystal Palace move on from Hughes, Turner, and Schlupp and invest in a forward like Adams, a combative midfielder like Kamara, and a dynamic fullback like Walker-Peters, they'll be making real progress. Everton are one of the most historic clubs in English football, but these days, they're clinging to Premier League survival like it's a trophy. Everton need to stop signing yesterday's players and start building a team for tomorrow. They need a proper striker who can hit double digits, someone like Serhou Guirassy from Borussia Dortmund, but that most likely won't happen. In midfield, they need a controller with composure. Someone like James Ward-Prowse could bring leadership and consistency they've been missing for years. Everton fans are loyal. They've stood by the club through chaos, scandals, point deductions, everything. But loyalty doesn't mean patience forever. Fulham have done a good job staying in the Premier League. But if they want to stop hovering just above the drop zone every year, they need to be braver with their squad choices. If Fulham want to step up, they need to bring in quality where it counts. In midfield, they lack a real creative spark who can break lines and pick out a killer pass. Signing someone like Alex Scott would bring energy, vision, and a fresh threat behind the strikers. At left back, they could target someone like Sergio Reguilón to bring experience and push Robinson for a starting place. Fulham's fans deserve to see more than just a fight for survival. Leeds United are back in the Premier League, but if they want to stay up and avoid another nightmare drop, they can't afford to make the same mistakes twice. If Leeds want to survive, they need to be ruthless and bring in upgrades now, not wait until it's too late. In midfield, they need more energy and control to compete with stronger teams. Signing someone like James Garner would add fresh legs, passing range, and a bit of bite. Leeds United have the stadium, the fans, and the passion to stay in the Premier League. Liverpool are still one of the best-run clubs in England, but if they really want to win the Premier League again, they can't keep pretending everything is perfect. One tough truth is that Darwin Núñez just hasn't delivered consistently enough in front of goal. He's unpredictable, sometimes brilliant, but wastes far too many clear chances. This summer has also been emotional for the club and the fans after the tragic passing of Diogo Jota, a player who always gave his all and scored crucial goals when it mattered most. But if Liverpool want to stay sharp in attack, they need a proven striker, someone clinical who can turn half chances into goals. A forward like Victor Osimhen would be the dream signing to fill that gap and push them back to the top. Manchester City are still the biggest nightmare for every other Premier League club. And honestly, it doesn't look like that's changing soon. But even Pep's perfect machine has a squeaky part or two. First off, Jack Grealish. Great hair, fun Instagram stories, but for £100 million, you'd expect a bit more than a few stepovers and a foul every 5 minutes. City don't need a massive rebuild, but a little injection of chaos never hurts. As for Haaland, just keep feeding him goals, protein shakes, and robot oil. If he's happy, everyone's happy. Manchester United fans deserve a medal at this point, because waiting for this club to get it right feels like waiting for rain in the desert. Some tough choices have to be made. The good news? Matheus Cunha has arrived, bringing some chaos, flair, and that Brazilian unpredictability up front. But that's not enough. United still need another proven striker. Someone like Victor Boniface could bring raw power and real presence to help Højlund and Cunha. So here's the reality check. Give Højlund help and trust Cunha and Boniface to drag this club back where it belongs, somewhere above 8th place. Newcastle are back in the big time. The money's flowing, the fans are dreaming, and St. James Park is rocking every week. But if they want to stick around the Champions League spots, they can't just rely on vibes and Bruno Guimaraes forever. Some players have done their part, but it's time to level up. In midfield, they already have Bruno, but adding someone like Khéphren Thuram would give them extra legs, power, and box-to-box dynamism. If Newcastle want to go from being a great story to a serious threat, they can't stand still. Nottingham Forest are no strangers to survival battles, but they can't rely on late drama every season. With Morgan Gibbs-White attracting big offers and possibly on his way out, Forest could lose their creative heartbeat. Midfield needs bite too. Nicolas Dominguez can't be everywhere. Adding someone like Flynn Downs could bring the grit and energy they'll need in a scrap. So here's the Forest fix. Prepare for life after Gibbs-White, build a tougher spine, and stop living on the edge, because next time, luck might run out. Sunderland are one of those clubs that everyone wants to see back where they belong. In the Premier League, under the lights, with the Stadium of Light rocking. But wanting it isn't enough. Up front, they need a proper striker who can smash 15-plus goals a season. Someone like Ellis Sims. In midfield, adding someone like Morgan Whittaker would bring creativity. So here's the plan. Thank Roberts and Gooch for their service. Add a proven striker, a creative spark, and a no-nonsense center-back. And maybe Sunderland can finally escape the championship roller coaster and remind everyone why they're a proper Premier League club. Tottenham Hotspur, the club that always promises big things and then finds a new, creative way to break their fans' hearts by March. First off, Richarlison. Let's be honest, Spurs fans have seen more pigeon celebrations than actual goals. At the back, a commanding center-back like Edmund Tapsoba would give them the calm and steel they keep pretending they have. So here's the plan for Spurs. Wave goodbye to Richarlison's chaos, bring in Tapsoba, and maybe, just maybe, Tottenham fans will finally have a trophy parade that isn't just a Twitter meme. West Ham are that team that loves to punch above their weight. Big European nights, massive goals, and fans who'd follow them anywhere. But if they don't shake things up soon, the bubble might burst faster than they think. First problem, the midfield still misses Declan Rice more than they admit. If West Ham want to control games, they need more than just runners. West Ham should think big. Someone like Amadou Onana would add steel and energy to midfield. So here's the deal. Fix the holes, spend smart, and West Ham can keep dreaming of those European nights instead of another season of what-ifs and almosts. Wolves are one of those clubs that always find a way to stay in the Premier League, even when it feels like half the squad gets sold every summer. But this time, they've got a real problem on their hands. Matheus Cunha is heading to Manchester United. He was their bit of spark and chaos up front. Now they're losing him to a bigger stage. They need to get smart, and fast. First off, they need a proper striker. Someone like Gift Orban could be a perfect gamble. Young, fearless, and desperate to prove himself in the Premier League. So here's the Wolves' plan. Accept that Cunha's gone. Don't panic. Sign smart replacements, and maybe, just maybe. So that's it. 20 Premier League clubs, 20 things they need to fix if they actually want to do more than just survive, bottle it, or finish mid-table forever. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button. Drop a comment telling me which club you think I got right or wrong.